This is what I would tell you is the most important single thing about every kind of storytelling. Native storytelling, virtual storytelling, is it takes you someplace. It transports you, your imagination, your intellect, your emotions.
When you're a great storyteller, you will always look for a new way to tell a story, for a new way to communicate a message. Often, a message has been told so many times, or an idea has been told so many times, it simply falls on deaf ears. It becomes a piece of wallpaper. And when you're a great storyteller, you use characters, you character storytelling to find new light.
And so I'd ask you to think back to the moment when you put your feet on Mother Earth this morning, and that there was air to breathe, and that there was sweet water to drink, and you had food and friends and family, and the companionship of geese and clouds and maple trees. Gratitude to all of those beings who keep us alive, gratitude to one another as people, and gratitude to the first peoples of this place in whose homelands we meet.
You study this part of the reef to predict the future, how human emissions will affect our world's oceans and the species that live within them. Look at your right palm. Notice how acidity has corroded the sea snail's shell. Now take a moment to walk around and look for sea snails in this area. Couldn't find any? That's because there are no living sea snails here. They can't survive in this environment.
You want to think about what's really going to take full advantage of the affordances of this technology. One of the things that we talk about, there are 4 main reasons to use VR. If something would be dangerous to do in the real world, if something would be impossible to do in the real world, if something would be counterproductive to do in the real world, like cutting down a tree, or expensive. It would be expensive to fly everybody to Ischia to show them these reefs.
You call your operation Cow Comfort Inn?
Yep.
I mean, really.
Our motto is where cows enjoy their stay.
What happens when their stay is over?
They have what we call, so when you walk into the entryway into my farm, check-in is at 2 years old because that's when cows enter the milking herd. And checkout is either at retirement, which we can't do a lot because it's very, very expensive. So checkout is also at change of career. So they go from making milk to making beef.
What do black folk think of, African Americans think of when you think of farming? Slavery. Well, you have to re-educate the mind of thinking about putting your hands in dirt, growing something as slavery. It's not slavery. It's sustainability now. It's how we live and what, instead of worrying about whether or not you can pay for a meal, are you getting an income in? Create your own wealth, create a business. It's what I believe.
Consumer opinion is the biggest obstacle we have, educating the consumer. You know, the consumer is always right is a phrase I hear from my branded goods peers. And, you know, I modify that a little bit to say an informed consumer, an educated consumer is always right. And we have to educate the consumer. And it's things like this. We all need to mix it up a little bit more to learn the importance of technology, to learn that, you know, Katie's really an entrepreneur and her business is driven by innovation and technology, and we can trust her. By the way, we need to connect Katie to the marketplace because she needs to listen to what consumers are saying.